What do you think the best part is of having this job?
The fact that I could just put pen to paper, so to speak, and the pen is really my microphone. The second answer is I get to take naps literally whenever I want. Pretty incredible.
Welcome to episode 3 of Self-Taught. This is the show where we interview members of Samsung's Team Galaxy to learn from them about what it means to go full-time as a creator.
There's no playbook for this career, and these interviews and these episodes are stories that I think we would have loved to have 10 years ago when we embarked on this journey of becoming creators.
In today's episode, we're going to be talking to self-proclaimed bad animator Danny Casale, also known as Cool Man Coffee Dan.
Danny Casale is a 26-year-old artist based in Brooklyn, New York. His cast of original characters, which are all voiced by Danny,
oh my goodness, yeah,
have garnered a massive following online and show up all over.
We actually went behind the scenes with Danny back in January, and the footage makes for a super interesting final episode of Self-Taught.
Can you walk us through your first films, stories that you were telling?
And the influence for those, like where did that come from as a little kid?
When I think of like the earliest possible inspiration, I think about Three Stooges, because I remember being Saturday morning, my grandpa calling home the landline and just like, you know, being like, hey, Three Stooges is on right now. Just super slapstick comedy, obviously, where it was three of these goofy guys like poking each other in the eyes and falling on the floor. And I think I understood because it was on the TV that they were doing it professionally and it was being taken seriously and it was like their job to be silly. And that was always very inspiring to me. So much so that when we first got a home video camera, like this big bulky VHS tape camera recorder, I you know, just wanted to make my own Three Stooges things. And my subscriber base grew along with me, man. Like, you know, once it was like 2010, 2011, 2012, I had 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, long Justin Bieber swoopy hair, just kind of like making people laugh.
waffles. Yes!
When I was in 8th grade, I made a YouTube video called Justin Bieber's Banana. It was about a banana that came to life and was dancing. I'm a banana, I'm a banana. It's a blurry plot. What I didn't realize was that Justin Bieber was a hot keyword to be in a title in 2009. I remember waking up the next day and seeing like the amount of comments and views that it had like 300 comments. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I inadvertently found out like, oh, this is like what internet culture videos is all about, like hot topics, covering it in the title, making sure the thumbnail is good.
So as you can tell, Danny spent years creating and understanding the YouTube platform. As time went on, he began to include animations in his videos.
The drawings were always the special sauce. I guess it was the only defining factor that set itself apart from all the other stuff that other people were doing.
And Danny was continuing to upload whether he found major success or not. But one day when he was a freshman in college, he made an animation that went so viral, it got so many views, it changed the course of his life as an artist forever.
Yeah, so the first viral hit was a dumb 3 a.m. idea that I had that ended up being a video called Snakes Have Legs in the summer of 2017.
I was scrolling down my Facebook timeline, man,
Yeah.
and it said snakes have legs.
No.
Yeah.
I gotta go tell everybody.
Yeah, you go tell everybody, man, because it's true.
Which I didn't really realize at the time, but it was the most politically charged summer to date.
Did you get this information from a reputable news source?
Yes, it was called the Daily Testicle.
This video, which really was just a pseudo-political piece commentary on fake news, blew up, tens of millions of views, re-uploaded on every corner of the internet. Super high political figures worldwide were retweeting it. Teachers in their classroom were showing it to their students of all ages. And it was mind-blowing to me because for the first time I saw something that I created everywhere. And I realized there was more to these bad drawings than just a bad, simple, colorful drawing. It woke me up in a sense saying, wow, there's a lot to do here. I should definitely keep going.
What's your thought of this from like a business perspective?
I kind of just kept doing it and trusted the process and said, you know, I have to think if a video got 20 million views on Facebook that brands are gonna pay attention to that. I have to think. I don't know how or why they would be interested, but I know that's not nothing.
What's the difference in a creative project between knowing that there's something there and kind of like what else have you seen where there's nothing?
The feeling you get when there's nothing is that you're really excited about what could happen. When you have something, you're terrified. You're like nervous. You have butterflies. You're anxious. That's how I knew I had something, because I was totally unsure about the next step. I had no idea what was going on. I had jitters. I couldn't sleep because I wanted to make sure I was doing everything I could to ensure that this is a thing.
6 months after the success of Snakes Have Legs, Danny was in LA pitching a show to a Hollywood studio. Even though the show wasn't greenlit, the experience and the ensuing months gave Danny the confidence to drop out of school and become a full-time creator.
And now in a short 3 years after Snakes Have Legs, Danny's built out a really impressive business. He has his own merch, his own original music, a podcast, and some significant brand partners.
Tap twice, and then when you open it back up,
A little buddy pops out, which is really useful when you're feeling, sad and alone.
As an artist and as a animator, what did it mean to you to be a part of Samsung's Team Galaxy?
Yeah, once I was, invited into the family, so to speak, it was another super validating moment, because a brand as big and cool as Samsung recognizing my weird work, I think that was really big, especially for my parents to see that was like a thing that was happening. I remember in like 11th grade, I carried around a little tiny notebook, and that got old really quick, always having that in my pocket. It's kind of like for the first time in my life, I've been able to kind of like have a tablet on the go with a device like the Note 20 that I'm on right now. It's always there for like a quick sketch, capturing an idea, or even just like passing the time. I always kind of felt like I needed something like that.
Even though Danny's business has grown and his creative tools have changed, he's maintained a very consistent style and workflow. It's his lo-fi, self-taught animation style that he came up with himself that hasn't changed and that resonates so much with audiences.
Danny's videos are proof that your story is more important than how you choose to tell it.
I call myself a bad animator because, it's so overtly simple, it's so colorful, in which at the end of the day, I think because it's so dumb looking and simple that people have their guard down when they come into it, and then I hit them with either a good joke that they weren't expecting or hit them right in the feels, talking about intense stuff and topics like being sad and love and friendship and depression. As long as a Cool Man Coffee Dan video could make you laugh, cry, and or think, then my job is done, because I want to provoke some sort of emotion.
What's the future of the Cool Man Coffee Dan brand?
I would love to get my merch into stores. I would love to make a bunch more songs. I would love to grow my fan base and my art recognition, through my videos, through the podcast, through more art installations. Maybe one day I'll draw one of my characters in the sky with one of those planes that like leave a smoke trail behind it. Literally, the sky's the limit. Like there's no end in sight as to what can be done here, which is super exciting as an artist.
All right, Danny, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Make sure to go check out Danny if you don't already. Outside of that, man, thank you, and I hope we can hang out and get tacos again soon.
Likewise, man. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
So that's it for this episode.
Just realized we've been in this car. We filmed so many videos. We've never honked the horn.
That's true. It wasn't as startling. I thought you were just actually upset.
I was hoping it would really startle you.
All right. So that's it for episode 3 of Self-Taught. Thank you so much to Danny for joining us on this episode, and thanks to Samsung for supporting this whole series.
As with every episode of Self-Taught, at the end we give you the opportunity to win a pair of the Galaxy Buds Live, which we use in the making of these episodes. They have great sound quality, active noise cancellation, and are ergonomically designed to fit really well in your ears. This time we want you to comment below with a nickname for either myself or Samir. Something cool like Cool Man Coffee Dan. We will then use a random comment picker, choose the winner, and announce that winner next week on our Instagram story. This is actually our final episode of Self-Taught. We hope you enjoyed this series, and we would love to hear from you. Which creators would you like us to interview next? Comment below. Let us know who we should speak to.